Mullen Automotive is currently being hammered by shorts. So it leaves the question, is the $25 million buyback actually going to do anything at all? Hi again, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. So obviously yesterday was a brutal day. We lost about 20% on the day. Big surprise. Everyone kind of thought the stock would float back up to $1, myself included, because of the stock buyback. While it did happen early on in the session, obviously the shorts obviously have really gotten a hold of this and have driven it right down to 79 cents. I think a lot of people who might have been long on the stock and just fed up with things might have just taken their losses. And you know what? You can't blame them. This has been a very rough ride to be in this stock. Now, obviously, like I've kind of sort of said, I was quite fortuitous in the day before when the stock did fall to 90 cents in the aftermarket, that I took a position up and then sold it in the pre-market the next day, and actually had basically almost fully restored my original dollar value of my position in the stock. And I was sort of on cloud nine heading into yesterday's trade, especially as the stock jumped to above $1 at the start of trade, but then everything kind of went sour, and it was kind of, a lot of sort of internal inflection there, sort of saying, maybe I should just like cashed out at this point in time. Am I holding on to a lemon here? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so it was obviously a brutal day, but people who are in Mullen, this is our bread and butter. We have brutal days. We're all a bit crazy, Anyway, so today in the pre-market, we are actually kind of up by a cent at the moment. Not that that's kind of like a huge indication. Now, given my recent swing trading success with the stock, there is a temptation to actually put those funds back in that I cashed out yesterday and see if I can do some sort of other swing trade to kind of further restore my position. Or, there's even the temptation to cash out and like walk away from Mullen Automotive. At the end of the day, my position in Mullen isn't a big one, so I'm not, totally worried if it like depletes further, because I do I do see what the company is doing as a positive. Like they're getting into an industry which is very much the future of the automobile industry, and they've got like their fingers in a lot of sort of projects, which to an extent is probably part of the problem that they have, is that they are trying to do so many things at once. But if some of these things start kicking goals, it's actually going to be obviously very good for the company. So I still think that long-term operation of this company has something to bring to the market, and that's all good. But obviously we are plagued with issues around listing. Now, we've covered this a few times here before, that yes, the underlying net asset value of the stock is actually higher than what the stock is trading at, which to many people is a good thing, but it's still such a peculiar situation that the stock continues to get hammered day in, day out. And based on what we saw yesterday, you have to ask the question, is this $25 million buyback actually even going to be enough to save the stock from the shorts and maintain its NASDAQ listing? Because I don't know how much buyback action occurred yesterday, but other than say the first 10-15 minutes when we kind of popped back up to above $1, we got poleaxed. It was brutal. That buyback wasn't doing anything. Like if they implement more of the buyback in Friday's trade, today's trade, obviously they're going to be able to take off more stocks off the market, but it's really not achieving much. And there is something to be said about the fact that the company is doing a buyback right now, because obviously a company doesn't normally do a buyback unless it's using like excess money from profits as a way of paying shareholders instead of doing a dividend for tax purposes, because obviously a buyback increases the intrinsic value, and therefore you'd hope the market value of the stock. This buyback for Mullen Automotive doesn't seem to be doing that at all. I laugh about this, but it's the reality of what's going on. It's crazy. You'd expect a $25 million buyback, buying back a third of the market cap, to be able to push the stock back up and easily make compliance. But we're being proven wrong again. The shorts are really getting a hold of this. It's brutal. I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, perhaps it's the market reading the whole buyback as a bit of a red flag, and it's the continued story of Mullen Automotive just failing to deliver on all the shiny hype that is within the company. It's tough to swallow, but yeah, it's kind of what you get in. Anyone who's in Mullen knows it's a high risk play. A little bit crazy to be in it, but like there's some positives for the stock. We know that several institutions have actually upped their position in Mullen Automotive in recent times. So, there is some big institutional money there, which, sort of should give some further confidence to it. But overall, when you consider that the stock has about a 25% amount of its float shorted, it's, getting, manipulated. We're not necessarily seeing what the company's truly worth coming in its market prices. Anyway, just a couple of 2 cents on the whole thing. Anyway, we'll leave it there for this little bit of a rant. Like I've said before, I'm considering doing my trade again, buying in about this 79-80 cent mark, and just seeing if I can swing it up another, 10 or 15% just to, kind of dollar cost average my position. I'm not going to lie, there is a temptation to cash out, but, I still, I got into Mullen knowing it was risky, and I've kind of, through a bit of luck, I suppose, been able to maintain the value of my position. But, yeah, and I kind of, part of me wants to, keep flying with this and keep rolling with it and hopefully, seeing what I can make from this position a bit longer term. But at the same time, it is kind of painful to see this day in, day out, especially when I had the opportunity, obviously yesterday to actually liquidate and, be even. But, we'll see what happens. I'll look at it. If we get if it's looking kind of stable, I might try and take up that position again early in today's trade and perhaps see if I can swing trade and dollar cost average my position. Yeah, anyway, I'll give you an update on what I do. Share your thoughts on what you think's happening with Mullen at the moment. What are you thinking? Are you thinking of cashing out? Are you holding strong? Do you still see promise in the company? And just believe we're going through a bit of heavy, manipulation via shorts. What are your thoughts on the stock buyback? Was it uncalled for? Is it a red flag from the company in general? Share them in there. I'd love to hear from you all. Until next time, everyone, may the markets trade in your favor, and hopefully we can make some money on Mullen. Cheers.